Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to be looking into the online conspiracy known as the Black Pill. Now, the Black Pill, from my understanding, is when a man who might not look that attractive, maybe because they don't take care of themselves, or maybe they are actually naturally born that way, that maybe that it's like genetically impossible for them to get a girl. I don't believe this. I think that anybody has a chance. There's pretty much equally ugly women and men. Now, I've been called several things for believing in this. A fake cell. I don't care if I'm a fake cell, that's okay. At least I'm happier with myself. I don't feel bad all the time. Unlike some YouTubers who believe in that women will never love them because they don't look like the Chad and they will never get a Stacy.
Hello and welcome back to Wheat Waffles. I'll start off by saying this may go on to be one of the most important, if not the most important video I ever make, as I'm going to be giving my rundown of my top 10 data and statistics supporting the black pill. The things brought up.
Okay, so you have this chart here of the levels of attractiveness. We've got some guy who's seeping with, ugliness. He looks like a sock puppet.
Up in this video are going to be nothing more but simple, cold, hard, brutal and undeniable facts.
Whoa.
Showing for men.
All of them are just like, it's so brutal. I think they honestly get off to the fact that it's a brutal reality. That might actually be something that they're interested in. And frankly, I don't necessarily understand this. I mean, what's he gonna say that's gonna make me feel like I can't ever get a woman?
In current dating markets, their success is almost entirely determined by their looks and genetics. And guys, the last thing I'm going to say before I start the video is ideally you should be memorizing almost all, if not all of these things.
9 through 10 is the thing you need to memorize. So he's already indoctrinating so many young people into his ideology of this is what leads people into racism and sexism, guys. So you shouldn't listen to this guy, but we're just going to debunk him.
Shut off your computer and bring out a notepad or phone, whatever, and do your best to list as many of these 10 things as you possibly can.
Why is he giving the viewer homework? This is just beyond invasive into personal lives of many.
You should be able to memorize at least 7 or 8 of them. This is a minimum. 7 or 8 things as a minimum. And being honest, guys, if you manage to write down less than 7, you may as well have not watched the video.
So he's already starting this video being obsessed about if you don't remember everything I say, you're not smart. What?
These 10 facts are your bread and butter for when it comes to online discussions and debates. If you don't learn these things, don't be surprised when you get destroyed. You need facts to support your argument. Anyway, hope all goes well. Let's get this video started.
So this is just to win debates. So you're supposed to bring up these 10 things to win all debates. Okay.
Number 1. For 18 to 29-year-olds living in Western countries, such as the US, UK, France, Germany, and so on, there are on average 105 men for every 100 women.
Are you saying that you're that extra 5?
Now, a lot of you might be surprised that I had this as my number 1 statistic. But the reason I love this piece of data so much is because it is a direct counter-argument to anyone who still believes in this idea of there's somebody out there for everyone.
Ooh, because technically no. Because technically, no, it's actually not. Because even though there's, same-sex relationships, this is still a relevant statistic. This is in a world where everyone's straight, though. You're literally leaving out an entire group of people for your own video, bro.
This data is basically saying that even if we lived in a 100% perfect system, where
What does he mean by perfect?
Every man and woman was able to find a partner, and they were 100% satisfied with their relationship. Even if this was the case, then still, every time, there would be a guaranteed 5 men who were left out.
So are you implying that you're the 5 men left out?
And even then, it doesn't stop there, because you've also got to factor in that a
Honestly,
large portion of these women aren't going to be the most ideal to date. So maybe they're single mothers, overweight, or maybe they're excluded from the dating market.
whoa, low quality. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you're getting mad that women won't date you, but you're saying you won't date the low quality ones? What if you're a low quality man? Not all men are of high quality. Why don't the low quality men go for the low quality women? You already say they're the low quality women. So you're saying that out of these 100 men, all of them look really good, or that they're in our normal pool? Are you saying that the least attractive men also deserve supermodels? Now, isn't that just a little bit out of the picture? I just think that's a little crazy. You're kind of being a reactionary bigot at this point.
Altogether, if they're more career or travel focused. But this is besides the point, because this data assumes that even if the system was perfect, and every match was ideal, then it's still going to leave some men left out of the dating market altogether. And lastly, before I move on to point number 2, if you want to know the reasoning for why this is, and why there are more men than women, is because in tribal times, men were
What?
much more likely to die during hunting or
Well, first of all, we don't live in the tribal times. You're saying that we would die more often? They're out of the dating market. Don't you think that these cavemen would also be incels?
fighting other tribes. But by the time men and women reach fertile age, the numbers would usually be balanced out by that point. But obviously now we live in our developed world, there are no longer factors such as the ones I just listed to equalise the numbers. So that's a
Even though we go to war with like Afghanistan every 20 years, but whatever.
first statistic. There is a surplus of men, particularly for young age demographics living in the West. Moving on to number 2, height disadvantage.
Height.
So taking
So this is something that they really do get on is height. Because, a lot of women made it a big point to be like a tall guy. And apparently shorter, this is just something that they would get mad at. They think that height matters, bro. It really doesn't, bro. You just gotta stop going after the Californian hussies. I don't know why you keep going after them. So this says percent of women that would accept. Here's the acceptance. And this is the male height in inches. So it says 72 inches. What is 72? I should know that. I should know 72 inches. Here, let's look that up. 72 inches in feet. 6 foot tall. So pretty much exactly 6 feet tall. So apparently, but guys, look at this. Look, literally 70% of women would accept a 69-inch tall dude, which is 5.75 feet. Bro, you still have range, guys. Come on. Look, and look, there's even 5% that would date a 56-incher. Four and 2/3 a foot. So you're not completely out of the dating market. And look, even if you literally get taller than 6 feet, it goes down. It goes down.
taking a look at this
Literally, it's the same. And who would be 84 inches? 84 inches? That's tall as heck. 7 foot tall. A 7 foot tall dude has the same chances as a 65-inch dude. Like, dude, you're looking at this and being like, well, women like 6 foot tall people. Yeah, but you still have a chance. You're not completely done.
chart, we have male height on the x-axis with the corresponding acceptance rate that women would deem suitable to date. And if we zoom in to a few critical parts of the graph, at 5'6", a man will have a 75% rejection rate based on his height alone.
5'6" has a 75% rejection rate. Whoa, now that is
This is
bad.
excluding other factors. This graph is based solely on height, and it gets even worse at 5'4", where it drops to 90%. This graph shows plain and simply just how significant height is for men when it comes to dating. And in my opinion, these numbers are likely even worse than what they appear. Because,
see, now I'm watching this video, and I am 6 foot tall, and I'm mad at you guys for being reactionary and bigoted. So stop being bigoted, guys, even though I get all the women and you don't. But
let's say that we bring 100 women back, and we have this man, he's 5'6". So, as already stated, 75 of those 100 will be an instant rejection for this man.
instant rejection.
But remember, these
Look,
numbers...
his pool is getting fucking smaller, bro. First of all, rope back in those quote-unquote low-quality women. Just care about their personality. Why do you care about what they look like? You said that they're fat. Maybe they can't control it. Maybe they can't control it. Instant rejection. No.
These are just the ones who said. These were just the ones who were honest in the survey, saying that they would reject a man at 5'6". What you've also got to take into account is others who lied in order to look good and virtuous.
Liars.
And still...
Whoa, okay, where are you getting this liar statistic? You're just pulling this out of your ass. You're saying that 1/3 of all women lie? What? So you have the liars, your strange lying statistic that you pulled out of your ass. I think you're lying to us.
On top of this, you've also got to take into account any others who have a strong disdain or rejection rate for somebody who's 5'6".
What? Where is strong disdain? What the fuck do you mean? Aren't these the ones who already disdain? You're literally adding on to it. You're literally adding on to it. Literally, these guys would reject you too. Why aren't those included in this pool? They should be included in that percentage. That would. You can't include people on the fence.
But would only consider dating him if he's massively making up for his lack of height in other areas. Like
what?
Having Tom Cruise tier face, status, and wealth.
What? Now you're just assuming. You're assuming that nobody would date. Like, dude, that's a pool of that many. But you're assuming lying. Note that you're including lying in the outlier. And disdain. So another third. You're literally just giving yourself points, bro.
But your average 5'6" man isn't realistically going to have these things. So really, the number of actual options that a 5'6" man will have is likely going to be significantly less than what the already shocking data shows.
So what, real options? So you have 5 women out of 100? Think of how many hundreds of women there are. You just gotta keep looking, bro.
So that's number 2 about height. Moving on to number 3. Women, irrespective...
Oh, remember he says in quotes, of all ethnicities. So really, of all ethnicities, why is that relevant? Favor W men? W men?
Of their own ethnicity, favour white men when it comes to dating.
What? What? What are you... Ooh. They said they like the BWC? Bro, what?
So in this survey, women were asked which ethnicity they find the most attractive. I'll start by showing you this. This is what the data would look like if your ethnicity had nothing to do with your dating life.
Right, and notice how he puts Indian here, because a lot of people think that. Honestly, I don't believe this.
If people were colourblind, as it's now commonly said, there'd be a completely even playing field, each sitting at 20%. Well, this graph, this is how white
Jesus Christ
women responded. As you can see, the data is now heavily skewed. They
This is racism.
in fact favoured their own ethnicity by 86%, with others being preferred for roughly 5%.
Well, I guess that BNWO isn't coming anytime soon.
But I can understand this. I can see why it makes sense that one ethnicity will prefer to date their own. So based off this, you might expect other ethnicities to look something like this.
So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, let's say this is like a black woman. She would like black dudes, right? That makes sense.
So if you ask black women, they might respond this way, again favouring their own.
Yeah.
Same goes for all other ethnicities. You'd expect the same pattern.
I expect that.
But in reality, this is what the actual data looks like.
Okay, you could have used the earlier graphs, bro. Oh my god, they all like white dudes. What?
Now, this might seem a little
No, dude, look, Indians are better with Indian women. See?
confusing at first, but we have the female's ethnicity on the left and their preference rate on the bottom, and the bars are color coded. So if we go back to what white
Bro,
women
why do people hit India? How women react to unattractive versus handsome men. So,
Living with opioid addiction can be a struggle.
so this video is not based off of statistics. This is simply going to show you that this is by Mogging Club. What the fuck kind of name is that? This is by Mogging Club. He's just going to show you videos of selective clips. This is no better than the fake news.
He's actually pretty good.
So that's an ugly fugly, and she's not like crazy. So these two look perfect. Bro, he just getting skipped on. Laughing in his face.
I like your haircut. I like your hair.
So he's basically just going on Omegle for a humiliation ritual. This guy added me the other day and keeps snapping me. So what is she like getting crazy about? Do you not like him? He's got a good haircut. Look at him. Just finished watching Lady Bird. It was so good. Not me just being goofy. Hello? How can you even like this face? Lol, I'm so ugly. So that is just an objectively ugly dude. I mean, this dude is not getting any bitches doing this attitude thing. He's just going on Snapchat and being like, oh, I'm such a... Oh my goodness. See how she reacted? See how she revolted seeing an ugly thing? How dare she do that? She better just like start marrying that dude already to, you know, apologize. How dare he? How women react to handsome men. Let's see handsome. Why are they? I think the people might know him a little bit more than his looks. My sisters thought the waiter.
I don't think that you are so cute.
I'd like to know whether girls would like to be in my class.
Oh, look at this shit, bro. Look at this attractive male. Holy freaking crap, bro. I'm so jealous, bro. Why aren't women looking at me like this? No! What are you so freaked out by?
Jesus Christ. Woo! You were handcrafted by Lord himself. Oh my
Oh my god!
god. You're perfect.
No.
He says no. He says no. He's nonchalant. I have no intention to offend anyone. I'm just showing people's reaction. Yeah, sure, bud. You're literally just making people feel more desolate as they already are.
I like the way you kiss me. I like the way you.
How dare she smile?
I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it is. Not trying to be romantic. I'll hit it from the back just so you don't get
Oh my god, how dare these people marry each other?
I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it is. Not trying to be romantic. I'll hit it from the back just so you don't get attached.
So guys, basically, the whole point of this video, basically start never dating. But basically, if you aren't good looking enough, basically don't ever date anybody. Even if someone like gives you even if someone genuinely loves you, bro, just turn them down. Just say, I'm not good enough looking. Statistically, you aren't going to like me. Statistically, since your factor for appearance is 0.03 higher when I was expecting that to be about 0.05, you shouldn't date me anymore. So yeah.